Brought to you in part by ServPro. When water damage strikes, call the cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO. Welcome back to the Comcast Center. Maryland-Boston College, the first game within the Atlantic Coast Conference. And let's take a look at our Pizza Hut starting lineups. And Al Skinner will tell you all about his BC Eagles.
Our starting center will be Terrell Blair. At the power forward, the 4 spot will be Shamari Spears. At the 3 spot will be Tyler Roach. At the 2 spot will be Rakim Sanders. At the point guard, Tyrese Rice. The person, obviously, that most people are going to be looking at is Tyrese Rice, who's second team All-ACC last season, and the leader of this team.
There is no question about that. He is the leader of this team. And the Maryland starting lineups led by the veteran James Gist. Gary Williams gives us the synopsis on him.
James Gist has been a great program player in that he's gotten better every year, and now he's taken on a leadership role. He wants to be a leader. He understands the situation with the freshmen, and he's been great.
All right, G-Man, let's take a look at our Boost Mobile game plan for tonight.
Well, if you're BC, you got to play a 40-minute game. They haven't done that yet this year, and then also handle Maryland's pressure. For the Terrapins, value the ball. They're averaging 19 turns a game. They've got to get good possessions and somehow keep Tyrese Rice under control.
Our officials, Jamie Lucky, Les Jones, and Mike Eads, and the opening tap is controlled to Boston College. Rakim Sanders trying to get free underneath, but Maryland really extended their defense and limiting Boston College from running anything as the shot clock winds down to 6. And an offensive foul to open things up. Good work by Vasquez, holding his ground that time. Goes against Sanders.
Tough for Sanders really to do something off the dribble like that. A lot of bodies in the paint. That BC plays that very tight flex, and there was nowhere to go.
Conventional wisdom, two teams that like to run the flex, Mike, and I know you want to talk about that because they really don't look to be similar offensively, but they are in terms of what they're trying to do from an X's and O's standpoint. Inside, Dupree, the youngster that's been playing as a starter. We'll see Bombali Osby a bit later. Dupree moved in as a starter for Osby in the Lehigh game a couple of weeks back. Sanders can't connect. Hayes looks to push.
Well, neither one of these teams rely on the 3 very heavily, Tim, but Sanders is very capable of knocking that shot down.
Gist fading away. And the Terps scratch with just over a minute gone at home.
Well, as we talked in the open, he's got to be a leader for this team in many ways, and Maryland coming out and applying some pressure to Boston College, trying to get the ball out of Tyrese Rice's hands.
Spears sets the pick against Vasquez, but he fought through it very well. Spears fades away himself. Off the back iron, retrieved by Hayes. Quick outlet to Vasquez. Well, almost picked off that time by Rice. Knocked away in last touch by Maryland. They can be turnover prone as they try to force an up-tempo.
And that's been a real issue. You look at their 3 losses, they average 21 turns per. And I think, too, that's a function of a young team. And what they're trying to do now, especially in the last game or so, is put the ball in Eric Hayes' hands and let him be the ball handler and let Vasquez make plays. Again, I think the pressure, you look at what Maryland is trying to do, that all of what BC does in that flex is timing, and they want to try to get them extended a little bit and get them out of any kind of rhythm.
Shot clock again winding down into single digits. Terrell Blair. That was a tough shot. Good defense by Maryland, but Blair there to answer. He's a guy that gets most of his points off the offensive glass. Milburn running the curl. Dupree there trying to follow, but it was knocked away by Blair. Maryland will control underneath their own hoop. 6-3. Boston College 6-1. Dupree with a little jump hook. A crier off the front iron.
And you talked about that move. The reason they want to bring Osby off the bench is for some experience, Tim.
Rice. Nice little dipsy-do underneath, but it was knocked away by Maryland. Well defended. Out of bounds to Boston College. Yeah, Gary Williams, I think, wants to look down that bench and see someone that's got some experience.
Right, and that's the whole point. And actually, you look at his numbers in the last couple of games, and Osby has really, he's going to play starter minutes anyway, but it's just a matter of bringing some experience off the bench.
Tyler Roach pops out. Oh, the iron unkind, halfway down the cylinder now.
And then he's a guy who can knock down the three. You've got to make him a driver. He's only been to the free throw line one time. But Roach, very much a specialist, likes to sit outside the three-point line.
A player for Boston College, a veteran that we'll see a bit later, senior John Oates, has been a real curiosity this season. 110 minutes without a field goal. His confidence has been shaken drastically. Sanders brings down the rebound. In ACC play, I think Al Skinner knows he needs to get some contribution offensively from Oates. Rice with a runner inside the lane.
And he's a guy, when his team is struggling, I'm talking about Tyrese Rice, he can elevate his offensive game. Now, as a point guard, he's seeing right now his young guys are having difficulty shooting the ball, so he's going to be a little more aggressive.
Hayes on the wing. Sanders pulls it down for Boston College.
Interesting matchup with Travis Vasquez on Rice to get some length on him.
Blair gets the oop, and he's fouled underneath. Just over 4 minutes gone. And the youngster Tyrese Rice, who's become a leader in just one season, knows how to get it done when driving to the basket.
Now at the Time to Rally event, get a $4,000 factory rebate or 1.9% APR on the 07 Endeavor from Mitsubishi, the fastest growing import brand in America.
Partner, let me upgrade you. Partner, let me upgrade you. Flip a new page, introduce you to some new things and upgrade.
And let me upgrade you to the best channels in HD. Only on DirecTV.
Upgrade you.
I'm talking about the hottest channels, not that HD lineup you get with cable. DirecTV, now that's a good look.
Let me upgrade you, grade you.
Upgrade your new flat screen with 85 of the best HD channels, only on DirecTV.
An event this big would normally require a black tie and a formal invitation. But at BMW of Peabody, the only thing you'll need to fully enjoy our year-end event is a driver's license. The year-end sales event at BMW of Peabody, going on now through December 31st. BMW of Peabody. Nobody does it better than we do.
It's that time of year, and the boys are back. That's right, the Don and Jerry Bubble Desk is back by popular demand. Order yours today for the sports fan on your holiday list. Quantities are limited, so log on to NessonStore.com and order yours today.
Boston College leading by 2. And their 1974 UMass graduate head coach Al Skinner, an outstanding player in his own right, a member of both the Rhode Island and Massachusetts Athletic Hall of Fames. I think his team exhibits the kind of quiet confidence that he's really all about, Mike.
Yeah, no question that he recruits guys like him. He got that demeanor. He's very tough-minded, and guys who can come around and play. And in a lot of ways, guys who are going to be four-year players in his program, which he feels is a big benefit.
In fact, that staff has been solid for some time as well. Pat Duquette, Bonzie Colson, Mo Cassera. Just added Preston Murphy, a story, former Rhode Island player himself that we'll be hearing about a little bit later on. Jen Hildreth will have more on Preston Murphy's story as it relates to one of these freshman phenom players that we see on the court tonight. Sanders got the long rebound. Gary Williams was concentrating a lot in yesterday's practice on defense, Mike. I know you witnessed it. Certainly early on, they paid much heed to what the coach had to say. Vasquez is followed by Osby. Bombali heard from wide array on a flush.
Well, that's what Maryland wants to do, to get out and run. Boston College wants to limit those exchanges as much as they can, but you get the turnover and the rush up the floor.
And a quick answer by Sanders, who skies and slams one home. Landon Milburn looking inside. Osby had it and lost it. Tried to make his move before he had control of the basketball. Third turnover committed by Maryland. Rice again, another floater. Spears, look at him work on the offensive glass. Staying with it, and Rice found a little crack and was able to get the putback. But credit Shamari Spears for keeping the ball alive. Vasquez on the wing. Too strong. Sanders with the rebound for Boston College. Tyler Roach pulls up. Saved by Hayes, out to Vasquez.
No board coverage.
Just gives it up to Vasquez. Look out when Rice gets to the open court. He loves this. Little stop and go. Leaves it for Sanders. Good defense by Maryland. Harry Williams thought they got away with a walk. Blair setting the pick for Rice. Good pick and roll move. And a foul inside.
This is the good defense. We talked about this little pass across the lane for BC, how important that is. And then the finish and the nice block, and then Osby coming in after it.
Sanders with a bit of an answer. A nice job by Sanders following up on the other end. Well, just everything Maryland doing to extend this Boston College offense they have, although BC with a 5-point lead. Roach. Rebound by Vasquez.
So far, Roach unable to hit anything in this game. Has gotten some pretty good looks on the outside. They need him to connect, to shake things up on the inside defensively.
Cliff Tucker is coming to the game for the first time. Roach is 0 for 3. Roach is in that position where Oates would normally be. Gist, little jump hook in the paint for James Gist, who became a member of the 1,000-point club the other night in the win against Morgan State.
Well, Gary talked about it, the fact that he's improved every year and has expanded his game, and now there's a guy they can feel they can grow into the post with, and that he can be very productive.
Rice splitting the double team, but is rejected by Vasquez. Outlet to Tucker. Good defensive work by Rakim Sanders. He came down there, making that a tougher shot than Tucker anticipated.
Yeah, good pursuit, not giving up on the layup, and I think Tucker maybe a little amped up on that play going in.
6 rebounds already for Rakim Sanders.
Offensive foul.
Offensive foul picked up by Spears, his first.
Yeah, here's the look inside. He gets Sanders on his back. One quick little power dribble inside, and then the finish.
Gist, Hayes, Vasquez, Tucker, and Bombali Osby, the 5 on the floor now for Maryland. Boston College has turned to Biko Parents for the first time. The freshman from Houston by way of New Orleans. Osby!
A really good interior passing, Tim. That time a 2-3 zone by Boston College, but then Vasquez in that situation, you want to have the little dump bounce pass inside, and Osby able to finish.
Now there are times when Paris, number 5, who's also in that 6-foot range, can operate at the point, which gives Tyrese Rice the luxury of moving to the off-guard spot. Those two in tandem make it a bit more difficult for Maryland defensively.
Well, now you see, is it the quickness of BC that will win out or the height of Maryland's guards?
Blair off the nice dish from Paris.
Well, it's really nice, and of course a dunk, but if Blair can come in and give them 8 points a game, 7 rebounds and 3 blocks, they would be thrilled with that line.
Remember, this is a team that a season ago in January had 2 of the most athletic players. Sean Williams, of course, now in the NBA, and Nikita McLean both were dismissed from the team, and yet Jared Dudley, the veteran, helped lead Boston College into the NCAAs yet again. And Spears really shored this team up late, as did Tyrese Rice. And I really sense a carryover in this Boston College team with those two leaders, Spears inside and Rice out. Bombali skying and playing with physicality. BC leads by 3.
Now at the Time to Rally event, get 0% APR on the 08 Eclipse from Mitsubishi, the fastest growing import brand in America.
Do you trust your coworkers? Yes, you do, so just let go. Okay, what did we learn there? Is there such a thing as personal space? No, there isn't, because we are all molecules in the same organism.
American Airlines. Yeah, I need an earlier flight out of Chicago. I feel like some of you don't respect me.
But because,
Because of the hat. Just get me on the next flight out. Hey. Rachel.
Hi.
We know why you fly.
Just made it.
We're American Airlines.
Eat your vegetables.
I haven't seen another person in 3 years.
I Am Legend. Rated PG-13. In theaters and IMAX December 14th.
What would you do with an extra $2,500?
I'd buy more clothes.
I'd go fishing.
You could be next. Correctly answer 2 simple trivia questions in a row and you're entered. We're giving away $2,500 each week for 13 weeks.
I'm gonna need a bigger closet.
Happiness is a private charter.
One of our lucky weekly winners will have a chance to win $100,000.
You better text. You could be next.
Just text Cash 31 to 79608.
We're in College Park, Maryland. ACC Sunday Night Hoops. Boston College taking on the Maryland Terrapins along with Mike Jaminski and Jen Hildreth. I'm Tim Brando. And we welcome all of you here. Let's go over to our third member of the broadcast team, Jen Hildreth. Jen?
Well, thank you, Tim. You talked about Rakim Sanders, the freshman for Boston College. He's made some plays on both ends of the floor, and he really did have a tough upbringing to get to Boston College. It was a long road, and he's a very humble, quiet kid, but he lost his mom when he was 11 years old. He and his 4 siblings were raised by his older sister, and part of the reason he came to Boston College was because of assistant coach Preston Murphy. Murphy's been friends with Sanders' family for a long time, and he told me that, if there's one thing that Rakim lost, it was his childhood, getting to be a kid and have fun, Tim.
Yeah, he was only about 9 years old when Preston was part of a 3-guard offense at Rhode Island that got to the Final 8 and lost to Stanford by 1. I'll never forget it. The late Al McGuire and I had a chance to watch that tournament run. Preston Murphy played with Cuttino Mobley and Tyson Wheeler, and he grew up watching and idolizing Preston Murphy, did Rakim, and they're very, very close. Nice runner by Vasquez on the other end.
Well, you get a sense of his game right there.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he was up in the air, he was looking to pass, and all of a sudden all the lanes closed down, and he had to finish on the way down.
That's his first field goal after 5 tries. Vasquez into the scoring column. Boston College by 1. Spears off the bounce. Just the rebound.
And Tim, you talked about Spears being undersized. This is where it's going to show up in ACC play. Yeah. He's been great non-conference, but it's going to be interesting to see now how he does.
Blair rejected it, and then there's Gist for the putback. Boy, give Terrell Blair, though, G-Man, a lot of credit. He blocked one shot and then got in the way of the other.
Well, in a lot of ways, he does what Sean Williams did for him last year. He's averaging over 4 blocks a game, not afraid to go after it.
Sanders keeping his composure inside as Boston College is having its way in breaking some of this pressure now from the Maryland Terrapins. And you know it's coming every time these two get together. Gist. Rice has a way of getting rebounds too. Harris, a little whirling dervish that time. A bit out of control. Maryland will have it the other way. Saturday, FSN College Hoops returns. 21st ranked Xavier takes on upset-minded Arizona State. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific, right here on FSN. Well, Milburn is coming to the game to replace Hayes for Maryland. Also, Dino Gregory, the freshman from Baltimore, number 33 for the Terps, in for the first time. Vasquez dumps it to Osby. Boy, every time he touches it, he's within 2 feet of the rack.
Well, you know what? You look at Vasquez, I think he's making much better decisions tonight so far, especially in the middle of that zone. And Osby has been the recipient of a couple of nice passes.
He is a fan favorite, is Bombali Osby. Loves to restore Cadillacs. He told me before the game he got a 1994 Fleetwood that he refurbished this year. Oh, nice work defensively again. This time it's Gregory coming over to give some help, and Osby as well.
Well, you've got the 2 leading shot blocking teams in the ACC, and this is a good example right here. Just 3 jerseys collapsing on the driver inside, nowhere to go.
6'7" freshman from Baltimore, Dino Gregory. Here's John Oates in the game. We touched on his situation a bit earlier, senior from Harriman, New York. Shot clock was winding down, so Biko Paris simply had to throw it up. A violation, it'll go the other way. Timeout, 7:57 remaining. The Terps lead it by 1. We'll return to College Park. ACC Sunday Night Hoops, presented by Pizza Hut.
Now at the Time to Rally event, get 0% APR on the 08 Galant from Mitsubishi, the fastest growing import brand in America.
Introducing ThumpBowl.com. Go online to register for the ultimate football sweepstakes and face the world's mightiest paper football champions. It's a wild bowl game showdown everyone wants to play. ThumpBowl.com. Start thumping!
The true power and beauty of HDTV is often hidden, unable to be seen. Only Hitachi Original Technologies unleash the true power and beauty of everything you watch on HDTV. Introducing the new Hitachi line of full HD 1080 televisions. Only from Hitachi.
That guy already knows what this is. Because you're not that guy, there's Helzberg Diamonds, where you could learn this is a graduated diamond journey pendant with 7-round brilliant cut diamonds. Now specially priced starting at just $99.99. Helzberg Diamonds, helping regular guys since 1915.
We don't have universal health care because of drug companies, insurance companies, and their lobbyists in Washington, D.C. And anybody who argues that every American's not entitled to health care, I want them to explain to you what child in this country is not worthy of health care. You're going to sit at a table with drug companies and oil companies, and they're going to give away their power. Right. You have to take their power away from them. There is nothing we can't do if we do it together.
I'm John Evans, and I approve this message.
By 1, Tim Brando, Mike Jaminsky, Jen Hildreth, ACC Sunday Night Hoops. Gary Williams, what an amazing career. Tied as the 7th winningest coach in Division I. will soon crack the 600 barrier in all-time wins, winningest coach in the history of Maryland.
And such a different year this year, Tim. 6 seniors on that team last year, guys who had all the way through, and then just turned right on its head with 10 sophomores and freshmen now.
Gregory keeping it alive for Osby.
Osby and Gist, 14 of the 16 points for Maryland.
This from a team that has really thrived in the last year and a half on guard scoring, particularly Hayes and Vasquez. Pick and roll for Parrish and Spears. And a foul inside as Pico Spears takes it right to the hoop.
So getting the good position inside Osby, and nobody really checking him out at all.
Gregory got the foul, his first. And Biko Parrish at the free throw line. I talked to Biko before the game. This is a youngster that went to Cypress Christian High School in Houston after Hurricane Katrina displaced he and his family. Told me that his mom and dad have moved back to their home near Slidell in what is known as New Orleans East. That area, which was hit very, very hard. Originally committed to USC, sort of fell through the cracks to Boston College, and really Al Skinner has a history of that, getting guys very late in the recruiting process.
A couple of All-Americans, Jared Dudley and Craig Smith come to mind.
Absolutely. Landon Milburn, the sophomore from Oak Hill Academy, Roswell, Georgia. 14 for Boston College. They trail by 4. Maryland 18-14.
Well, Milburn very active, not a great long-range shooter, but a great athlete inside.
It was one of those sequences where it appeared that maybe Tyrese Rice forced it just a bit. Al Skinner looks to his bench and will go to Terrell Blair. And now he calls him back. John Oates remains in the game, number 32 for BC. Gist loves going to his right. Rice and Vasquez fight for it. It's an over and back. Just an unfortunate location for Gravis. Gravis knows it too. He's chuckling.
And
Fans don't like it.
A little hug for Mike Eads there too, and he did have control and then slid over.
Oh, the emotion, the pain of it all.
And then a hug.
Yeah. The student section here is legendary, and they're letting Boston College have it as best they can. Vasquez on a blow-by.
Nice inbound pressure on the side out of bounds. A freshman mistake for Biko Parrish with the long cross-court pass. It turns into 2 points.
Four points, 3 assists, and no turnovers yet as you see this 16-5 spurt now for the Terrapins.
Well, Maryland's done a nice job of denying that entry pass at the elbow.
Oates on the offensive glass, and maybe he can get some confidence by crashing the offensive boards and having an opportunity to free throw or two.
Well, you know, a lot of things get into your head as a senior, Tim, and you know the real world is right there in your front windshield, and you're pressing, and you want to have a good season, and you want to go out well. You know, is he going to play at the next level? Probably not. But he's had some talks with some people recently, and he thinks he's getting back on the right track.
Well, you think about it too, Mike. You come to school, you notice the basketball brochure has your picture on the front cover, and things change a little bit when you've had all of these veterans like Dudley carrying your offense for such a long period of time.
Not just veterans, pros.
Yeah.
You know, you're playing, you're the third or fourth option, and it's a nice comfort level to slip into. And he's got a cut on his arm that he needs to tend to.
So Terrell Blair comes back out onto the floor. Boy, the contribution that Gary Williams has gotten from some of his wing players tonight. Gregory comes to mind.
Well, and then you have Hayes and Vasquez, your guards, with 7 rebounds.
Absolutely.
And your bigs are dominating inside in the paint.
Milburn with the dump down to Gist. Takes it right to Oates, baseline. Good help defense by Blair. Terrell Blair helped cause that turnover.
Ryan Gist put himself in a bad position by dribbling underneath the basket. He had nowhere to pass.
Well, you got to like what you see in Terrell Blair.
And so that's a move that he didn't have 2 years ago, or a year ago for that matter. But you can really see that his offensive game has expanded.
Blair has 7 points, the senior from Monticello, Florida. Rice, little stop and go. Oh, Tyrese Rice, Aroni.
Well, you've got to sit on his left hand. If he gets to his left, he's going to score. Somehow you've got to make him beat with a weakness. How long are you working on that one?
Oh, man, that was a strong Boston College treat from Rice.
And Tim, you know what? Boston College now has found their footing.
Yes, they have.
They weathered a lot of emotion here early, and Gary Williams senses that. They're looking very composed in the last 5 minutes.
And one of the kiddie core, Corey Raji, freshman from Washington, New Jersey, nailed that last three-pointer. Take a look at this stop and go, because this is what makes Tyrese Rice so special.
Well, and see, you got the little hesitation dribble. Here he is. He's coming down. He can go both ways, but freezes you. Makes Vasquez stand up, and there's really nothing Hayes can do behind him. And here's the look. I mean, if they can get to the point where they feel comfortable throwing the ball into Terrell Blair and letting him go to work, that is going to be a huge lift to this offense.
Let's go back over to Jen Hildreth. Jen?
Well, Tim, you guys have talked a little bit about Vasquez trying to defend Rice, and I talked to him about that before the game too. And he said he knew it was going to be tough, but he was up for the challenge, going to try to use his size to get him off his game. He said he can't let him get off in this game, and Rice seems to be picking up a little bit of steam here the last few plays.
By the way, one of those pros, Jen, that Mike was talking about is now over in Finland, Lewis Hennett. And Tyrese told me before the game that he talks to Lewis Hennett every day and has mentored him ever since he left to play professionally in Finland, and he's averaging about 18 a game against Lewis Hennett over in Finland.
I hope he gets free phone minutes over there. I hope that's part of the deal.
9-0 run, leading to that Maryland timeout.
And there's where Hayes' size paid off in the jump shot.
Another rebound by a Maryland guard. This time it's Hayes. Vasquez. Again, just playing with that kind of abandon that you expect from the vivacious Venezuelan. Boston College, though, answering the Maryland lead with a 9-0 spurt. 3:38 remaining in the first half.
When you open a Samuel Adams lager and begin to pour it out, you get this beautiful amber color, and you put your nose in it, and you get the smell of flowers called hops.
We use noble hops. They are expensive, but it's a better quality ingredient for Boston Lager.
Most brewers have a dash of hops.
We use a pound of hops per barrel.
We add some caramel malt to that. Significant full flavor, but everything is there in balance.
The proof is in the taste.
The first step is admitting you're addicted. The second step is to feed it.
Now we're gonna have some fun.
Own season 6 of TV's most addictive show. 24 on DVD today.
Hey, think I got here by sitting on my butt all day playing video games? Come on, get out there on a Honda. Who knows? Maybe one day some kid will be playing you.
The Honda CRF F-Series. Unplug your kids. Get your kids in a CRF F for as low as $39 a month and up to $300 in bonus bucks now during the Good to Go sales event.
Sports Authority, dedicated to the dedicated.
In a couple of weeks, it's an ACC Sunday Night Hoops double dip. First, Deron Washington and the Hokies travel to Wake Forest to meet Impact freshman James Johnson and the Demon Deacons. That's followed by Cincinnati and ACC freshman phenom J.J. Hickson. The North Carolina State Wolfpack will be waiting. The action tips off Sunday, December 23rd, 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. All brought to you in brilliant FSN HD.
Well, you look at it, Tim, right now, that we talked about Maryland makes fewer threes per game than any team in the conference, and they haven't hit one in this game yet. They're doing well in the paint, but they haven't been to the free throw line yet either. So a couple of statistics where I guess in part of that, I think, is Terrell Blair and his presence inside defensively.
Yeah, he converts. You know, I looked at Terrell Blair as a body that's a complementary player and it could only score off the offensive glass. Well, tonight
he's their leading scorer.
Yeah, he's and has handled low post moves as well as we remember Craig Smith back in the day. You know, getting it on the low block, posting up, the occasional drop step. Not something that you would anticipate from Terrell Blair. 7 points and 3 blocks for Blair. Oates in traffic. Boy, nearly turned it over. Milborn got into the passing lane and knocked it away for Maryland.
Very strong double team by Maryland that time, and Oates very lucky not to have a turnover.
First conference game of the season. The league loves to have some December gatherings before the holidays. This gives you a real measuring stick for what you need to work on before the month of January gets going. BC's first ever conference game in the ACC was played in this building 2 years ago.
How about this, Tim? Maryland doesn't play another conference game for over a month.
And again, Maryland's defense really extended enough to take Boston College out of everything. And another shot clock violation for Al Skinner's team.
Yeah, here's the look. You got to have a sense you can see the shot clock up top winding down and really nothing developing.
Vasquez with a ball fake, leaving it for Gist. Milburn negotiates. Dupree trying to tip it through to no avail. Braxton Dupree, one of the outstanding young freshmen on this team. Back in the game now, giving Bombali Osby a rest. Shot clock again under 10. Rice, oh, he did that on his own with the clock winding down. Boy, that makes a coach's comfort zone even bigger.
And they jumped hard on that two-man game, Tim, and he went 1-on-4 and was still able to finish in the paint. Terrific shot.
8 in the game for Tyrese Rice. Vasquez has that one blocked again. Terrell Blair deflected it. 21 ticks remaining on the shot clock. Coming up at the break, ACC Sunday Night Hoops halftime show. The FSN final score with the latest highlights. We'll hear from Paul and Josh Howard. Chris Paul about the loss of their mentor, the late Skip Prosser of Wake Forest. And G-Man and I will recap the first half. That's all coming up on the ACC Sunday Night Hoops halftime show. Osby lost it. It was almost as if he didn't expect that pass. 7 turnovers now for the Terps.
You can see that a lot of defensive intensity and also a lot of nerves from these players have led to a very low-scoring first half.
Plays a little bit into Boston College's favor, don't you think?
I mean, neither one of these teams is going to run away and hide from you offensively, Tim.
It just seems that Maryland has always got that flair for the spectacular. Shot clock winding down. Rice again off the back iron. Shamari Spears with a push.
But I have not liked BC's offense in the last 2 minutes. There have been a lot of long threes at the end of the shot clock. Not a lot of continuity, not a lot of purpose.
Spears now has 2, and he'll take a seat. John Oates comes back into the game for him. Rice getting into the lane again, and Vasquez giving himself up and picking up the foul. Nice idea, really. Mickey Murden at the
couple of sloppy passes in the last couple of possessions, and Osby again looking like he got caught unawares, Tim, and very tough. You put your defense in a tough position, you can't get back and rotate that way. And
the unintentional intentional foul.
Yes.
Give it up there.
Something like that.
Only 14 fouls. Make that 5 now for Maryland. Sanders has it slapped away by Milbourne. 18 to shoot. Rice almost turned that one over. He was in no man's land. Vasquez is just, as they say in the business, ragging him. Rice throws it up from the hip. Oates trying to tip it through, recovered by Biko Paris. And Boston College can set up for one final shot.
Well, Gary Williams very frustrated because you play a good sequence of defense, you get him to take a tough shot, and then you don't clean up the defensive glass, and you give him the last play.
Harris blows by Hayes, rejected by Gist. Gist again, a third time. Time winding down for Vasquez at the buzzer. The defensive intensity will tell you in a heartbeat that the conference season is underway, G-Man.
Well, you take a look at it. We talked about it. Maryland's second in the league in blocks at 6.8 per, and that was great hang time right there. Credit Biko Paris, he's staying after it, but really having no luck inside.
Jen Hildreth is standing by with Boston College assistant Pat Duquette. Jen?
Well, Coach, first half, your first ACC game in the books. What do you think so far?
And we played like it was our first ACC game. Pretty sloppy on both ends, for sure.
What do you need to do to tighten things up offensively, at least?
You know, thank God our defense came tonight. You know, we held them to just 22 points. We just got to settle down. We're going a little too fast on offense. Take our time and execute.
Okay, thanks so much, Coach. Tim, we'll go back to you.
All right, it's the FSN final score with highlights from around the country. And then we'll hear from Chris Paul and Josh Howard about the loss of Skip Prosser at Wake Forest. G-Man and I will be back to recap the first half. You're watching ACC Sunday Night Hoops, presented by Pizza Hut.
Your double deep pizza with double the toppings.
Double. Your double deep pizza?
Double. Pizza Hut's new Double Deep Pizza. Double it up with double the toppings and 50% more cheese. A pizza so deep, we had to build a special crust to hold it all. For a limited time, just $12.99.
I love you.
Double means more with America's favorite pizza. Pizza Hut. Order online.
You actually got a pony.
Guess you got the Venus.
It's got a touchscreen.
Yeah. New chocolate?
4 gigs of music.
And they came with the Verizon network too, huh?
Does he bite?
Yeah.
The gifts they want are at Verizon Wireless. LG phones like the chocolate, just $79.99 in any color, or the 8350 for just $49.99. Verizon Wireless.
Welcome to the new shape of fast. Introducing the new Pontiac G6 GXP Street Edition. Pontiac, designed for action.
Bueno, chiquis, tengo que colgar.
No, platiquemos otro ratito.
No, cuelga tú.
No, cuelga tú.
Cuelga tú.
Cuelga tú.
Cuelga tú.
Cuelga tú.
Que descanses.
No, flaquito, cuelga tú.
Cuelga tú.
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 No, cuelga tú.
Cuelga tú.
Bueno, chiquis, tengo que colgar.
Ok, bye.
Chiquis.
The 2007 Red Sox championship is not a reward for history and hope. It's for the here and now. This one is for us. NESN presents Champions Again, the story of the 2007 Boston Red Sox, the definitive DVD of the entire 2007 championship season. Relive it all with Champions Again. Available Friday at retailers throughout New England.
Welcome to the ACC Sunday Night Hoops Halftime Show. The Terps trail by 3. Hello there, I'm Greg Wolf. Welcome to this final score update. We want to get you caught up on some other college hoops action, including another ACC team looking to stay above 500. Vaught Tech was hosting George Washington. This game seen earlier on FSN, second half. Off the steal, Jaron Washington the other way. The big jam, he finished with 17 points for the Hokies. Later in the second, JT Thompson off the turnover, he'll finish as well. Hokies win 68-36 over the Colonials. Number 5, Georgetown hosting Jacksonville, and the Hoyas had it going on from long distance throughout the entire game. That was Austin Freeman for 3, DeJuan Summers, and then in the corner, Chris Wright. One of 11 three-pointers for Georgetown. They're 7-0 as they shoot a season-best 59%. In the NFL, the Patriots looking to go 13-0, hosting the Steelers third quarter. Tom Brady to Randy Moss, who gives it right back to Brady, going for the home run. 56 yards downfield to Jabbar Gaffney, touchdown. Patriots, they win 34-13. Brady had 4 touchdowns, 2 of them to Moss. For all the highlights of an exciting day in the NFL, plus the NBA, NHL, and college hoops, be sure to tune into the FSN Final Score immediately following the game. In the meantime, we send you back to Tim Brando and Mike Jaminski in College Park for second half action between Boston College and Maryland.
My art history student, Emily, has taken advantage of opportunities to study in Spain, Egypt, and England. She's already won a prestigious fellowship for graduate study, and this year, she's curating an exhibit at Boston's Museum of Fine Arts.
Nick is a star on the field and off. With a demanding double major in education and spending summers as a research assistant, he still makes time to bring a smile to children in Boston schools and hospitals.
I'm Emily Newmeyer.
I'm Nick Larkin, and we're students at Boston College.
Konnichiwa. So, I've got everything ready for the big Tokyo meeting. I can go ahead and book our flights now if you like. I know you like a window, so I'm happy to take an aisle. Oh.
Everyone's looking.
Dad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're enjoying your flight to Tokyo today. The current temperature in Tokyo is 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
Everybody's working all the weekend.
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines.
The Northeast was snowed in, so Santa called to say, "Help!" With the help of Santa's magic, W.B. Mason flew to the rescue. Even with dust-ups, tight scrapes, and a runaway truck, we still saved the day.
A stapler and pencils! Everything go well, dear?
Rudolph's missing. Where could he be? Ho, 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 the W.B. Mason.
Hit the hub on NESN.
One great team deserves another, and NESN's New England Hockey Night team will help you follow the puck all season long. Jack Edwards joins Andy Brickley in the booth for the play-by-play, home and away. And Rob Simpson keeps an eye on the puck ringside. It takes a Bruin to know the Bruins, and our team of studio analysts have you covered with host Catherine Tappan. Boston Bruins hockey on NESN, the hub of hockey.
The Bruins are the hub of hockey. The Bruins are on NESN.
Glenn Bush
Addison Park scores! 19 seconds in! The shot scores! In front to Storm! Gorgeous work with the puck! Metropolitan steps in front and scores! Schaefer scores! And the Bruins have found the offense!
Wednesday is New England Hockey Night with Bruins Thrashers coverage beginning at 6:30 on NESN.
ACC Sunday Night Hoops is brought to you by Acura. Acura. Advance. Now let's join Jen Hildreth. Jen?
Well, thank you, Tim. It has been a rather low-scoring affair here so far in College Park as Boston College leads Maryland by 3. And in 2 weeks, our ACC Sunday Night Hoops telecast will travel to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And that is a community and a basketball team that is still feeling a very painful loss. Former men's basketball coach Skip Prosser passed away this past July following an apparent heart attack, and he touched so many lives during his coaching career, and we had a chance to catch up with a few of his former players.
My relationship with Coach extended way beyond the basketball court. That's why it hurt me so bad to lose him, because you know, it's like, who's going to call me during the season when things aren't going well? Who's going to keep me motivated? And I know Coach is in heaven watching down on me.
He would always call and check on me, you know, and I would call and check on him and make sure the team was hanging in there. And even when I would come back in the summertime before he passed, you know, playing with the team and going over to Wake, just staying with the Wake Forest family, you know. And like I say, he was just a great man, you know, and I think he was well respected. I'm going to miss him.
Coach Prosser certainly will be missed, and we'll have a lot more on what Wake Forest is doing to honor his legacy when we're there 2 weeks from today. But we've still got a whole half of basketball left to play here from College Park. We'll be back with more from halftime in just a moment.
10 seconds.
Rated PG-13. In theaters and IMAX December 14th.
Havoc Heli Laser Battle has arrived. Armed with infrared laser technology, you can blast your opponent out of the sky. Direct hit. Each hit sends your rival's helicopter into a wild tailspin. Fly into position, get him in your sights, and hit the fire button on the controller. With the latest infrared pulse technology, your Battling Havoc fires an invisible laser beam that sends your opponent spinning out of control. Use the bonus battle playset to maneuver your Havoc for the perfect shot. On this special TV offer, you get 2 Laser Havoc Helis, 2 Charger controllers, 4 spare tail rotors and custom stability adjusters, the battle playset complete with landing pad, and with your paid order, you'll also get this Airhogs Elite Force DVD to improve your laser battle skills with tips from the Airhogs team. And you can get all this with the only real air combat RC micro helicopters in their class for 2 payments of $39.95. Must be 18 years or older to call. Here's how you can order.
You can call 1-800-640-5954 for 2 payments of $39.95 for a total of $79.90 plus $9.99 shipping and handling.
You want to talk sports? I'm your point man. Globe 10.0, presented by Verizon, hosted by Bob Ryan. He's going one-on-one with Boston's best sports writers.
This is one of the best teams of all time. Their offense has fallen off the cliff. He has one swing for all occasions. This is a team that really shouldn't even be here. Win or lose, we can have fun doing this. We need to keep emailing. I was wrong. I was wrong. We are fired up. Does it get any better than this?
Don't miss The Point, Tuesday through Thursday at 5:30, only on NESN.
That's the point.
If you thought the holidays were crazy,
Come on, Frosty!
we're going mad. It's a special Christmas Eve Madfish Marathon on NESN.
How about fishing? That's Christmas.
Catch your favorite episodes of Charlie Moore Outdoors all day long.
It's Christmas. Get in the spirit. Over there, this way.
Christmas Eve, beginning at noon, it's the greatest show on H2O. Only on NESN. Brought to you by Obashan Hardware.
It looks like Christmas.
ACC Sunday Night Hoops presented by Pizza Hut. Boston College leads by 3, and the 22 points for Maryland, their second fewest of the season. They only had 18 against UCLA. I got to tell you, though, there have been moments when excitement has been there, particularly inside. Bombali Osby, when he came in, was instant offense for Maryland.
Well, I think the pitching is ahead of the hitting right at this point early on. And
good way of putting it.
You look at Bombali Osby coming off the bench to lead this team with 8 points. He also had 4 rebounds, 3 of those offensive. Terrell Pryor has been a factor inside. He's got 3 blocks in this game. And then Tyrese Rice, I really think has been kept relatively in check then by BC. It's the floater there, but only 8 points on 4 of 10 shooting.
Well, you take a look at the numbers in the first half. Both teams shooting poorly from the floor, and especially from downtown. But again, extending those defenses and the quickness, I think, the quickness factor has a lot to do with that.
Right, and then you look, and some people have been held scrolls. Eric Hayes, after coming off a career high, only one field goal attempt.
All right, we'll be back with the second half. Someone's going to get their first conference win of the 07-08 season.
Every game, every score, every highlight. It's the FSN Final Score. 30 minutes every night of the week, bringing you all the action from the world of sports. It's the one show where serious sports fans go for serious sports highlights. The FSN Final Score, presented by DirecTV.
This is you after an energy drink. Unfortunately, so is this. Why do energy drinks make you crash? 1 minute you're wired up, the next you feel worse than before. The answer is the large amounts of sugar and caffeine. That's why you should try a new liquid energy shot called 5-Hour Energy. With 5-Hour Energy, you can leave grogginess behind and sail through your day without feeling jittery, tense, or, you know. That's because 5-Hour Energy contains a powerful blend of B vitamins for energy, amino acids for focus and better mood, and enzymes to help you feel it faster. There's 0 sugar, 0 net carbs, and only as much caffeine as a cup of coffee. The 2-ounce shot takes just seconds to drink, and in minutes you're feeling awake, alert, and productive. And that feeling lasts for hours. So if your energy drink makes you crash, switch to 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later. Find out if 5-Hour Energy is right for you. It's available at these fine stores, or for more information, go to 5hourenergy.com.
Has anybody ever had skunky beer? Light destroys beer.
Any light can skunk a beer, not just Sunlight.
Clear and green bottles let in light, which can turn traditionally brewed beer skunky. Brown bottles protect better.
We have 21 award-winning varieties. Every one comes in a brown bottle. And we also use higher 6-packs to protect it from the light.
We use only the old-fashioned pry-off caps.
Twist-offs let in more oxygen. We want to prevent that from happening. We put so much care into brewing the beer that we want to protect it.
That guy already knows what this is. Because you're not that guy, there's Helzberg Diamonds, where you could learn this is a graduated diamond journey pendant with 7-round brilliant cut diamonds. Now specially priced starting at just $99.99. Helzberg Diamonds, helping regular guys since 1915.
Kind of missing your white sneakers with the jeans look.
They don't really look that good.
No.
I got Skechers. I mean, they're made like sneakers, right? They're comfortable and go with everything. Skechers and jeans, Skechers and khakis.
Skechers also come in white. Hey, he could wear them with jeans.
Right.
The King's brake lines, they've been cut.
He'll go right off a cliff.
Yeah, whatever.
How dare he make a home-style melt? Down, down.
The new BK Bacon Double Homestyle Melt. Better than Mom can make.
ACC Sunday Night Hoops is presented by Pizza Hut. Double it up with double the toppings and get Pizza Hut's new Double Deep Pizza. Get America's favorite pizza, Pizza Hut. And brought to you in part by Mitsubishi Motors. Come test drive a Mitsubishi at your local dealer today. We welcome you back to the Comcast Center. Tim Brando, Mike Jaminski. Jen Hildreth moments ago spoke with Maryland head coach Gary Williams. Jen, what did he have to say?
Well, Tim, it's interesting. On Thursday night, the answer for Maryland in the second half was they came out with a lot of fire and energy. When I talked to Coach Williams tonight, he said, we have got to calm down. In order to score, we've got to catch the ball and not drop it when we're open. We're making mistakes. Just a little more calm on the court might go a long way, Tim.
Yeah, the stakes are always higher, Mike, when you get into conference play, and I think there's some high anxiety on both sides.
Well, and for a lot of these guys in Maryland, they've never played in a conference game before. Like that guy right there.
Dupree, he missed with one from point-blank range.
You know, I think there was, with all due respect, I think there was a need to get amped up against Morgan State. But now you get into conference play, and you gotta turn it down, take and maybe play in third gear. And Sanders shaking up on that play.
Yeah, an injury timeout for Sanders. Holding his lower back. Trainers will take a look at him. This is a Boston College team that only has 8 in the rotation, 10 that are actually dressed. So you don't want to go too far down into the bench on Al Skinner's team any night. Here's how it happened underneath.
And there's a look inside, going flying up, and got hung up on the rim, and then landed awkwardly and probably has back shaken up a little.
Turnover by BC. Maryland gets it back. Davis Vasquez, same starting 5 for Maryland and for Boston College here in half number 2. Vasquez dumps it off to Dupree, who goes with the left hand. And Braxton Dupree. Calvert Hall finally getting it going on the offensive end.
Yeah, and a much more controlled move that time. Used the rim to block out Blair inside and not let him use his shot blocking capabilities.
Shot clock down to 5. They had 2 violations in the first half. Oh, nice scoop to the hoop by Pico Paris.
Like I said, they're undersized, but Paris, a very strongly built guard, showed it on that drive.
Milburn lost it. Blair deflected it. Got it again. 2 rejections for Terrell Blair in that sequence.
He's as improved as anybody I've seen in the league on both ends of the floor. You knew about the shot blocking capabilities, but he gave them 7 points in the first half.
Well, they're going to go out of a 1-4 set. And you see with Paris in the game, that allows Tyrese Rice to float off the ball. Being checked by Vasquez. Rice gives it up to Tyler Roach, and he drains the tray. He missed his first 3 in the opening half. He's now 1 out of 4 from the floor. His first bucket from downtown.
And they need that offense from him. And credit Tyrese Rice is his ability to penetrate and drive, drew the defender off of Roach and gave him a look.
Hayes, great passing that time. Hayes to Vasquez, throwing it to a spot, and then the delivery down low.
You know, neither Vasquez or Hayes has a turnover in this game. It's the big people are having trouble handling the basketball, but that was well executed.
Watching Rice and Vasquez off the ball. Interesting with the clock winding down. Spears gives it up to Blair, who launches with 2 on the shot clock. Hayes looks to push. Milburn all the way to the rack. High slamming Landon Milburn.
You want to know how to attack a shot blocker? Go right at him. What a finish.
That was electrifying.
I see, you know what, BC has always had the ability to take the crowd out of the game. Now they're going to get a little methodical in their offense.
Paris rejected by Gist. Cleared to Hayes.
You got to be a man to go into the paint in this game.
Vasquez for 3. A little shimmy shake afterwards. Terps by 1.
You know, maybe that's the shot that gets him going, Tim. He was 23% coming in and missed 4 in the first half.
The first triple for Maryland, 1 out of 7 as a team. Vasquez finally knocking one down. Roach. Vasquez the long rebound. Well, let's see if those decisions are better in year 2. He waits for his offense this time. A year ago, he would have taken a 1-on-2 or 1-on-3, no problem.
Well, after making that last 3 in the demonstration after, I thought he was headed for another one.
Vasquez, a little finger roll to follow the tray.
I think Gravis might have found his offense, Timmy. He's got that look. It's like the door got unlocked.
9-0 run for the Terrapins. Almost 5 minutes deep here in the second half. Spears rejected by Gist. Blair the follow. Spears stays with it. Boy, give Boston College's bigs a lot of credit. Blair keeping it alive, and Spears remains fearless, though undersized. Oh, but the vivacious Venezuelan getting some help from Landon Milbourne. Hayes the find, Milbourne the flush.
Your double deep pizza with double the toppings.
Double. Your double deep pizza?
Double. Pizza Hut's new Double Deep Pizza. Double it up with double the toppings and 50% more cheese. A pizza so deep, we had to build a special crust to hold it all. For a limited time, just $12.99.
I love you.
Double means more with America's favorite pizza. Pizza Hut. Order online.
I'm comfortable going fast. I'm comfortable in Wrangler.
Introducing Relaxed Straight Leg and Relaxed Boot Fit from Wrangler Jeans Company. Wrangler Jeans Company. New fits, new styles, great comfort.
You actually got a pony.
Guess you got the Venus.
It's got a touchscreen.
Yeah. New chocolate?
4 gigs of music.
And they came with the Verizon network too, huh?
Does he bite?
Yeah.
The gifts they want are at Verizon Wireless. LG phones like the chocolate, just $79.99 in any color, or the 8350 for just $49.99. Verizon Wireless.
An event this big would normally require a black tie and a formal invitation. But at BMW of Peabody, the only thing you'll need to fully enjoy our year-end event is a driver's license. The year-end sales event at BMW of Peabody, going on now through December 31st. BMW of Peabody. Nobody does it better than we do.
This January, the Allstate Bowl Bash comes to Fox, beginning with the AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic, followed by the Allstate Sugar Bowl, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, and concluding with the BCS National Championship game between LSU and Ohio State. The Allstate Bowl Bash begins New Year's Day on Fox. Boy, take a look at the inside play here. Tremendous passing to get the ball into Gist.
Just working their offense. Nice little skip pass that time, and Vasquez, the little flash. And it's been a different game offensively for Maryland. To me, they've come out, they've scored 11 points in the first 5 minutes of this half, 5 of 8 shooting. And seem to be playing under the control that Gary Williams wanted coming out of halftime.
Well, that's just textbook, and that began the run, that particular sequence.
And then Vasquez stepping up, knocking that three. The crowd got into it. It's amazing what happens if a player's in a slump. You know he can score, and then that one shot goes down, and the floodgates open.
Shamari Spears at the line. And speaking with Al Skinner before the game today at practice at the shoot-around, we were talking about Spears, and he said, you know, the thing that people overlook in him, Mike, is his basketball IQ. Where you see a guy that worked his weight off, lost about 15, 20 pounds, plays more athletically inside, but he always is in the right spot at the right time. Hayes, little 360 deuce in the paint.
Yeah, it's been a different team. That time you can't let a guard come down and penetrate and get into the lane that easily.
It's the first two-pointer for Hayes on the night. 35-32.
He's coming off a career high against Morgan State at 19 points.
Spears throws it right into the Velcro hands of Gist. Vasquez leaves it for Osby.
Boy, Vasquez playing flawless basketball. A couple ill-advised shots, but no turnovers to this point.
10 in the game for Bombali to lead Maryland. 5 of 8 from the floor for number 50 for the Terrapins. Figure on Rice doing something now. Trailing by 5 with a shot clock winding down. Finds Roach on the other wing. And the dribble grab leads to an open three.
Second three, and that's the second time on the opposite side of the floor that Rice has gotten there.
Milbourne, very quick end-to-end with the answer.
But you know what? If you're BC, you knock down that three and you go into a home run trot. They left defensively going back, and Maryland ran it right up their backside.
What a pass. Just threaded in there by Rice. Spears had it knocked away. Osby clears. Milbourne. Nice dish to Gist. Fouled by Blair. Boy, Landon Milbourne making a difference both scoring as well as dealing.
Well, you've got a couple of great shot blockers inside in Gist and Blair. And that time he was sitting back in the lap of the post player. You should have made that pass. And then the look ahead, the great dump off by Vasquez to Osby. Good finish. Well run break.
Fourth in blocks in the ACC last year was James Gist. Tonight he has 5 block shots to go along with 5 boards and 9 points. He's inching closer to a triple-double. Preseason Wooden Award candidate James Gist playing up to the advanced billing so far in the ACC opener. Rice to Blair. Dunk off the back iron, and now Rice is hurt. Vasquez on the other end. Out of bounds, and now everyone concerned on the Boston College bench about the health of Tyrese Rice.
He went down hard. He got tangled up. It looked like it was with Gist trying to go for the ball, and he landed right on his hip. Osby trying to make the play right there. Oh, no, it was Milbourne, and then he just went right down in the small of his back.
You know that's got to hurt. And Osby, by the way, I was going to say Blair may have been a bit too emphatic with the dunk, but Osby actually got a hand on that attempted slam to help knock that ball away, which took it into the air and then eventually led to the loose ball situation and Rice on the deck. Take a look at it again here, Mike.
Well, you look, and again, you want to go strong in this situation, but Osby and Gist both in the top 10 in block shots. He makes it hard, and then the collision outside.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there wasn't also a glancing blow to the head to Tyrese Rice before he landed on the small of his back, and you can tell he's favoring that back, and the crowd here at College Park very respectful of this young man, the junior from nearby Richmond, Virginia.
That was a clean block. I mean, Osby had it lined up, and then I don't think Rice even, I don't know if he ever saw Milbourne in that play. And that's going to be, if he's out for extended minutes, a big loss for Boston College. 21 points and 7 assists a game.
He is really the player that this entire team looks to as their leader. I mean, these young players, the freshmen, just love him. They're like sponges absorbing all the information that he's willing to give them. Now Biko Paris, the freshman from New Orleans, runs this team.
And Roach becomes more important now. He's hit 2 threes in this second half, but they need some offense from somebody.
Shot clock down at 12, and it's kicked by Hayes. And there's Tyrese trying to shake it off and get back to the scorer's table. Wouldn't take long to get him back in.
Well, I think, you know, with an injury like that, you want to keep it warm and loose. And if it's not too painful, you get in and play through it. It's going to be more painful tomorrow than it is right now.
He sat out all of 23 seconds.
And that's about all he sits out all year anyway. He's leading the conference in minutes played.
Corey Raji, who was in for him, sits back down. Rice, again, relentless, taking it right to Osby. And Bombali picks up the personal.
And Roach goes over and pats him on the back. You know, like, hey, come on, that's where I just fell. Don't hit me there.
This time a season ago, we were discussing Tyrese having a bit of a short leash when he came into the game to spell a Lewis Hinnick. But now, you know, Al Skinner's looking to him to make all of its decisions, determine just how long of a rope he has in any given situation.
And his demeanor has changed too. He's much more of a leader, making much better decisions with the basketball, up over 2.0 assist to turnover ratio. So he has gone from a gunslinger his freshman year to a guy who can run a ball club.
And he got it to the line for the first time tonight and hit them both. Osby rejected by Blair again. That's 6 rejections for him. And Roach picks up the reach-in foul.
Timmy, you can't go up with any space between you and a shot blocker. You've got to get your body into his and try to negate his timing and jumping ability.
Maryland coming in tonight 6-3, 6-1 for this Boston College team. But both are looking emphatically for victories. That ball tipped up. I guess Osby will get credit for the deuce. As you see the Bombali Afro connection from the fan base. Popularized again here in College Park. 12 points now for Osby.
I think our next open should involve those wigs for you and me.
Well, that time for me has come and gone.
Well, exactly. That's why you need it.
Yeah. Blair. Boy, the left hand off the window pane. 43-39. Regardless of the outcome, you've got to be impressed with Terrell Blair.
Yeah, he's talking about heading for a triple-double the hard way. Pick up his rebounding a little bit, but 9 points, 6 blocks.
Alley-oop for Gist. Taken out of there by Biko Paris, who beats down the Maryland defense. Osby rejects him. Here comes Vasquez the other way. A good defense by Roach. The trailer is Hayes. Long rebound, Roach. Rice going wraparound to Spears. Out of bounds. Last touched. It will belong underneath the hoop to Boston College. 10:57 remaining. Boston College trails by 4. Yeah, that's a good look. Yeah, it is.
Eat chicken wings, buy Hooters things. Christmas is near. Shop, have a beer. Christmas shopping shouldn't be hard. Simply buy a Hooters gift card. Eat chicken wings, buy Hooters things. Shop where in school, right from your stool. Magazines, calendars, great caps. Gifts so cool they will not need wraps. Eat chicken wings, buy Hooters things. Christmas is near. Your friends are here. Get yourself to Hooters right now to buy the gifts for those you want to wow. Hooters gifts are always favored.
Hey, think I got here by sitting on my butt all day playing video games? Come on, get out there on a Honda. Who knows? Maybe one day some kid will be playing you.
The Honda CRF F-Series. Unplug your kids. Get your kids on a CRF F for as low as $39 a month and up to $300 in bonus bucks now during the Good to Go sales event.
All right, I need someone on a red-eye or a plant in Jersey. Who's it going to be, people?
I'll go, sir.
Great. I need somebody in Houston by 5.
I'm your man, sir.
6 a.m. to Omaha. Who's taking one for the team?
That'd be me, sir.
Steve-O. That's what I'm talking about. Steve, can you make it to Buffalo by 4? Anyone seen Steve?
Enjoy your trip.
We will. Thank you.
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines.
This system is corrupt, and it's rigged, and it's rigged against you.
Finally, someone telling the truth.
And we can say as long as we get Democrats in, everything's going to be okay. It's a lie. It is not the truth. Do you really believe if we replace a crowd of corporate Republicans with a crowd of corporate Democrats that anything meaningful is going to change? This has to stop. It's that simple.
I'm John Edwards, and I approve this message.
The Maryland Terrapins have taken the lead, 43-39 over Boston College. And you know what? They're feeling the boom a little bit here in College Park. Senior Bombali Osby, the force off the bench. He's got 12 points in this game. He has been an inspiration to a lot of people, including which I am now a part of. I think it's a good look. What do you guys think, Tim?
I think, well, honestly, you don't need the extra follicles, but but I'm not going to be a critic here. You're not Mr. Blackwell of hair, are you, there, Keenan?
I think she braided it. It would look fine.
Gee, I remember that teacher in room 222. Scary that I'm old enough to remember that series. And nice defensive work, but leading to a foul by Vasquez. Looking at some numbers from our statistician, the famed numbers cruncher, Marty Aronoff. Vasquez and Hayes between them, Mike. 11 assists, 1 turnover tonight.
No, they've done a terrific job handling the basketball. It's Osby and Gist that are accounted for 7 of the 9 turns.
Good cut by Rice, and an even better dish, and a foul underneath. Vasquez got a technical. He picked up Les Jones, saw it immediately. Sometimes the emotions will get the better of Vasquez. After he picked up the foul, he hits the leather area that holds up the goalpost. Take a look. See, right there. Boom, and he got the tee right.
Well, and that comes on the heels, Timmy, that he was talking to Jamie Luckey earlier. He got the foul when he was trying to deny Tyrese Rice the ball back. So we talked about it. He plays on pure emotion, but he can't let it go or get away from you.
Well, this is important because the technical counts as an extra foul, so that gives him 5, and he's done. That's huge.
And it's you can't do that to your team. You know, you want to be emotional and play up everything, but you can't get yourself out of the game with 10 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
And it was immediate. And Les Jones saw it, teed him up the moment it came. And Keith Booth got over to console Vasquez, but we heard from him earlier in the evening, talking about at the very top of our show about channeling those emotions properly.
Well, that's 2 fouls and a tech in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It also shows you the problems that Tyrese Rice causes you as a defender. He did his best to try to keep him from getting the basketball back, and basically Rice got him out of the game in 30 seconds.
Well, mark it down. This coming with 10:30 remaining in the game. It could be the turning point if Boston College is to come away with a road victory in the Atlantic Coast Conference. You just lost the most impactful player you have in the backcourt, and arguably tonight on both ends of the floor in the backcourt.
Well, and this is where Hayes needs to step up, because now you've got Milborn, who didn't play much and is a sophomore. Tucker's a freshman. And Greg, you got a young team out there aside from Gist.
We'll say this, the complementary players, Milburn, Tucker, have all played well tonight for the Terrapins, but now they're going to have to take it the rest of the way.
And I'm telling you, Tim, Boston College is a tough team to run away from. Maryland had that nice run. The crowd was into it. It looked like they were going to pile on some points. And here it is, BC with a tie game with 10 minutes to go.
As emotional as Maryland can be, particularly when playing at home, the other factor that comes into play is how Boston College is one of those teams that never gets too up and never too down. And a triple for Corey Raji, the freshman from New Jersey out of Westwood High School, and a timeout taken by Gary Williams. And he is livid.
Gary Williams is he's given a piece of his mind. Now he's got to keep under control. Keith Booth is trying to get in his way.
High emotions. That was the foul, the personal, then the technical. Right there. We'll be back.
You know, HD TV and TiVo HD just belong together. Like me and Duke. I mean, why get a premium HD TV and a generic DVR? My TiVo searches for HD by show, actor, team, and downloads thousands of movies right to my TV. And Duke, he gets me other things.
Oh, he's so cute.
Good boy, Duke.
New TiVo Ho Ho HD. Perfect for the holidays.
The true power and beauty of HD TV is often hidden, unable to be seen. Hitachi original technologies. Unleash the true power and beauty of everything you watch on HD TV. Introducing the new Hitachi line of full HD 1080 televisions. Only from Hitachi.
The Simpsons movie on DVD.
They're going to destroy Springfield! Dad, do something!
Lives will be lost.
Lives lost.
Go on. People will perish.
It's really the same thing.
And Schwarzenegger will be president. Sir, will you read them?
I was elected to lead, not to read.
Unless the Simpsons can save the day.
I'll take that challenge.
The Simpsons movie, only on DVD December 18th.
Oh, look, a pig wearing a hat.
For Maryland with under 10 minutes and down 3, and Gravis Vasquez will watch the rest of this game from the bench. We talked about it. He is pure emotion when he plays, and sometimes it gets him his trouble trying to get the ball right there. A very demonstrative reaction. Then the little shimmy shake after the 3, trying to get the crowd involved. But this was the technical foul that got him on the bench, and nothing that young man is going to be able to do for the rest of the time. His teammates are going to have to rally around him.
Lessons learned in a very difficult way for young players, particularly when they're amped up for an important conference game. And, you know, in truth, Gary Williams is still talking to Jamie Lutke across the way, but Les Jones executed a rule that's in place. You showing up an official when he, I mean, that's the directive of many officials.
At home, you know, bringing the crowd down on a guy.
Yeah. Nice work at the top of the key by Gregorio. Another one of those complimentary players that have acquitted themselves nicely tonight for the Terps.
Yeah, Dino Gregory only 1 of 9 coming into the game. Sometimes you find unexpected heroes in situations like this.
Nico Paris operating at the point. Raji in the game along with Blair. Rice is over on the wing. Gist with a tuck away, and he took steps. And he knows it. He's lobbying with Les Jones, but to no avail.
Yeah, he saw the man breaking out ahead of him, but he just couldn't get his feet to stop.
And by the way, in defense of Vasquez, I understand it was not his intent to show the official up when he pounded the basket support, but in truth, that's the way it's always going to be interpreted by an official. You always have to consider that as a player. Rice leaving it for Blair. Out to Corey Raji for 3.
And that was a great play by Blair. A 2-man game. Everybody went to Rice. They got him the ball inside, and then he kicked it weak side for an open 3.
See how Hayes responds with his backcourt mate out of the game. Now he'll have to lead his team off the iron. There's Tucker on the offensive glass. Gary Williams is going to be happy at the end of this game about the way his defense played for the bulk of this game. His offense has been there in spurts, but the defense has been a constant for Maryland tonight. Hayes on his own, raises the front iron. Outlet to Rice. Leaves it for Spears, who's rejected by Gregory. Those athletic wing players, Gary Williams prototype in his history. A run to so many NCAAs and a national championship. Dino Gregory, yet another rejection. Maryland and BC opening up the ACC.
Bargain Network, the place to find real bargains. Buy cars from bank and government seizures. This car sold $500. This car sold $800. IRS, DEA, repos, impounds, and more. This car sold $500. Find thousands of cars and homes available right now in your area. Foreclosed homes and distressed properties are selling for as low as $199 per month. VAs, FHAs, HUDs, repos, and more. For current listings in your area, call now.
800-230-8025.
6 billion people on Earth when infection hit.
My name is Robert Neville.
I'm a survivor living in New York City. God didn't do this. We did.
No! I can fix this! Let me save you!
I Am Legend, rated PG-13. In theaters and IMAX December 14.
Welcome to the new shape of fast. Introducing the new Pontiac G6 GXP Street Edition. Pontiac, designed for action.
You own your own business and wear all the hats. But when was the last time you got a little recognition? Well, here's something just for you. Sovereign Business Owner Banking. You can get free business checking, 300 free monthly transactions, and no minimum balance. Plus, your first order of checks free. We'll even add the rewards of our best personal checking account free. Sovereign Business Owner Banking.
That work for you?
Boston College leads by 4 with just under 8 remaining. Look at our Davis game summary. Boston College from the floor struggling. Maryland at 50%. The big story, Vasquez having fouled out with that technical, and G-man ball movement been a real factor so far in this game for Boston College when creating opportunities.
Well, you see the two men are going to focus in on Rice. Blair will eventually get it and then kick it weak side for Raji for an open three. Great ball movement. Go to weak side. You get guy an open three. He's 3 of 3 from downtown in this game.
As they trigger it inbounds. Boston College with control. Outstanding ball movement live this time, and it's Raji on the receiving end again.
Wow, that time that Milburn went for the steal inside, and if you don't come up with that play, it's an easy layup.
11 points now for Corey Raji, the freshman from Washington, New Jersey. Hayes.
Yeah, but they need him to get going in the last 8 minutes, Tim.
Look, I know it's December, but they've lost 3 games. Raji got away from them. Count it as he gets the hoop. So count the basket, 53-47. I know it's early, Mike, but you never want to lose a conference game at home. And I think Maryland, they know they need this next 7 minutes to go well without one of their stars. Pressure's on. There's a foul underneath. That was Oates down there trying to check the quicker Landon Milburn.
Right, and consider the fact that they don't play another conference game for over a month.
That's right.
So, yeah, you don't want that hanging out there. And this series has been like that. They played very early in December and then not until after January.
Gary Williams' team has played well. They had a victory against Illinois, but there have been some tough losses as well, including a game, obviously, to UCLA earlier in the year. The 0-1 is more problematic than 6-4, but a conference game in your hip pocket in December going into January is something you really would like to have, particularly when that one game was played in your building.
Well, that's a lot of pressure on Cliff Tucker, too. You know, a freshman coming in and having to pick up for Vasquez. And we talked about Milburn, not a lot of playing time, if any at all, last year.
Look at Rice turn up the speed. Boy, high arching off the glass, and a follow by Raji. Corey Raji, like a shot out of a cannon here in the second half, has really been a factor.
Career high 24 against Providence, almost brought them all the way back in that win, and 18.5 over his last 2 games. So he's getting good early.
12 of his 15 points in this half. And the last 12 points for Boston College coming from Corey Raji. Milburn. Oates trying to stay with him, and he'll pick up the foul.
Well, you look at BC, and with Rakim Sanders really not a factor in this game, they had to get points from somewhere, and Raji really coming along quickly. But that's one that, you know, if your offense isn't going well, that John Oates has to be a factor on the glass, and Giz just outquicked him to that rebound.
Corey Raji, by the way, we should mention this. as an older brother, BJ, who is a tackle for the BC football team, was not eligible this year. Will be playing for Jeff Jagosinski next season. And it was not a problem academically in terms of his GPA. It was more a case of poor curriculum. He will be available to play for them next year and will be, I'm told, the best defensive lineman that they have on their roster once he becomes eligible. Well, Raji has a family connection to the BC program as well.
Talking to coaches, you know, they haven't pulled a lot of players from the New York metropolitan area in northern New Jersey, but the fact that you've got a brother there, that's a nice little twofer for BC.
Yeah. Jags will take it in football. And a foul against Raji as Gist was like a human pogo stick underneath, taking it right to the rack.
Here's the look inside. You see 3 white jerseys around him. They've got a little respect for him. And then just he just couldn't come up with that loose ball and got a foul.
It was really, in many respects, the play of James Gist down the stretch of last season that helped propel this team into the NCAAs, which was much needed for the program at that time. He also played on the Pan American team for the United States this past year. Really has improved his game, his all-floor game. Rice lost his dribble on the way in, and the foul will go against Osby. And he had better watch his emotions.
Well, and he's got to watch out, too, because the referees are, when one technical has been called, 2, 3, and 4 are right now, they're not too far behind. And here's the look. You see Rice is on the move. They lost the ball. He came up with it. Now he's got it on the floor, and it's awfully tough for a big to reach down and grab it and try to get the ball.
As we were showing you that replay, the inbounds pass came in, score the basket, and a foul underneath. Osby picks up his 4th. And Shamari Spears at the free throw line.
Gary Williams wants a timeout to talk about things.
Six minutes and 13 seconds remaining. And suddenly Osby picks up 4, Spears the deuce, and he's at the line for another.
Well, you know, it's right now. Maryland needs to regroup. You know, they're getting wrapped up in the referees. They're getting wrapped up in the calls, and all BC is doing is forging a nice little lead here, and they're going up by 7 points. It's their biggest lead of the game.
Tyrell Blair, talked about Tyrell Blair, the play he's had defensively, matching the block fest underneath for Maryland. Mike, he's been outstanding.
You know, sometimes you can pad those statistics against lesser competition, but to come on the road in the ACC and do what he's done, I think he's validating those numbers as the best shot blocker in the conference so far.
Well, since the 10.5 mark, Mike, when Vasquez fouled out, you see the numbers on Blair leading the ACC in per game average. Since Vasquez fouled out with the personal foul followed by the technical, Boston College has outscored Maryland 15-7. In just over 4 minutes of action. Milburn rejected again. This time Oates got it. And a foul against Milburn reaching in.
It has seemed like there's a guy with a broom in the lane in this game. I mean, there have been so many blocks on either end of the floor. It's been unbelievable.
16 total rejections tonight for both teams. And really, you think of Maryland historically as being a team that always has jumping jacks, guys that can send it back the other way, ignite a fast break. Boston College, not so much. A team that usually boxes out well, runs their stuff, and manages to play well with a lead and struggle when they're trying to come from behind.
But they've had that guy that in the last couple of years, whether it be Sean Williams a couple of years ago or now Blair, and even Oates getting into it.
By the way, they're now 14 of 17 at the line. Another way Al Skinner wins, by getting his team to the line and his club converting. Boston College by 9, their largest lead of the night. Boston College with its largest lead against the Maryland Terrapins. And Greivis Vasquez out of this game after fouling out on a personal with a quick technical and emotional maneuver that really changed the course of this game. And another foul spotted inside. Oates, along with Dupree, were involved. And it's Oates picking up the personal, his third. Tim Brando, Mike Jaminski, Jen Hildreth. Happy to have you with us. We're at the Comcast Center in College Park, Maryland. And for many of you across the country, as Dupree uses the bank, it was Vasquez who picked up the foul in an emotionally charged moment, hit the basket support, and that gave him the 5th foul because it obviously is a technical, would count against him as a personal foul as well. And just like that, the tone of this game changed. BC has outscored Maryland by 10 since. Rice, Bowie grabbed him around the waistline before he took that shot. Adrian Bowie, the freshman from Greenbelt, Montrose Christian High.
Well, you know, looking at Paris and Rice out there, they're so similar in body type and how they play and toughness. And that's it's going to be a formidable backcourt for Al Skinner. And I just liked in that offense, Rice not settling, just getting the little curl into the lane. He's got that little floater that's tough to block.
Yeah, he has a way, don't you think, Mike, as we've seen many guards through the years that are like this, takes shots that at times would look like a bad shot to most, but not for him.
Well, and I think Al Skinner has lived with that for 2.5 years now, and maybe didn't live so well with it his freshman year, but now that he's improved as a player, it's okay.
Well, the onus is on Eric Hayes to make some plays. Shamari Spears comes down with a rebound. Eric Hayes, the other super soft in the backcourt, without his running mate Vasquez, will have to make some plays. As again, a strong defensive move by Cliff Tucker leads to a BC turnover.
Yeah, maybe Tucker, not only the length, but the quickness and the good hands to stay in front of Rice, dug down that time and caused the turn.
Boston College in the second half, Mike, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. 5 out of 12 on the game. Maryland's still struggling. 1 for 12 from three-point range. Gist. They actually got a bump from Osby. Create a little contact with one of your own. And knock it down. Quick timeout taken by Gary Williams. 7-point game, 60-53.
He just kind of runs right into his own man. And I think Gary thought that he ran into somebody else, and he was wondering why a foul wasn't called on that play, but it was Osby. This number's pretty impressive for the night.
13 points, 9 rebounds, 5 block shots. But I tell you, you look out on the floor, obviously Hayes and Gist, you know that Gary Williams has got to get exemplary play from them. But guys like Tucker and Dupree, Bowie, and Landon Milburn, who I think has played very well tonight, are going to have to make some key plays down the stretch of this game.
Yeah, watching him in practice, Tucker's capable of knocking down the threes. Hasn't missed one this year. Milburn more of a slasher inside, but the other guys all solid.
Boston College, on the other hand, has really utilized Corey Raji as a strong force. Hayes with a steal and the deuce. So they amp up the full court pressure out of the timeout. With Raheem Sanders not available, Raji has played well for BC.
Well, and Paris has struggled taking the ball in at times in this game. He's had a few timeouts on or turnovers on inbound situations.
Paris for 3. A little redemption from downtown for Biko Paris from New Orleans East, just outside Slidell. Tucker, jump stop, and a deuce.
Right, and as Maryland is efficient offensively, it allows them to get into their pressure full court.
Well, can he break it, though? He's a one-man fast break. Every time he's got it, Osby clears it. Outlet to Hayes. Well, we've seen already an illustration from Tucker offensively. Landon Milborn, an unsung star as well, number 1 for Maryland. He's being checked by Paris. Does have a height advantage. Gets it inside Osby. Tough shot. Well defended by Oates. And a foul on Tucker. Could be a breakout for John Oates, who has struggled this season. The senior. It may be the holiday season, but it's no party when you get into conference play. 3:14 remaining. Just ask Gravis Vasquez, he'll tell you.
When you open a Samuel Adams lager and begin to pour it out, you get this beautiful amber color, and you put your nose in it, and you get the smell of flowers called hops.
We use noble hops. They are expensive, but it's a better quality ingredient for Boston Lager.
Most brewers have a dash of hops.
We use a pound of hops per barrel.
We add some caramel malt to that. Significant full flavor, but everything is there in balance.
The proof is in the taste.
It's Sunday night. You know where your sports are? Every Sunday at 11:25. Turn to the network you turn to all week long. Nesson and the new sports desk lights out. Sundays on Nesson. Your sports weekend isn't over until Nesson turns the lights out.
This is the ultimate indoor RC helicopter. Introducing Reflex from Air Hogs. The new radio-controlled copter with dual thrust propellers for precision control. Forward, backward, up, down, left and right. Take Reflex places no other copter has gone before. Amazing precision control, indoors and out. Small enough to land in the palm of your hand. Powerful enough to take to the skies. Amazing performance at the touch of your fingertips. You get the Reflex with the dual thrust propellers, the 6-way controller, the AC charger, backup rotors, and the display case. Plus, we'll also include our brand new flight simulator, so you can use it on your PC for even more outrageous fun. And you can get all this for 2 payments of $34.95. It's Reflex from Air Hogs. Must be 18 years or older to call or log on.
To order, call 1-800-456-0056. That's 1-800-456-0056. Don't delay. Call 1-800-456-0056 now.
In 2 weeks, it's an ACC Sunday Night Hoops doubleheader. Deron Washington and Virginia Tech travel away to meet Impact freshman James Johnson and the Demon Deacons. That's followed by Cincinnati against ACC freshman phenom J.J. Hickson and North Carolina State. We tip off on December 23rd at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. All brought to you in brilliant FSN HD. Speaking of brilliant freshmen, how about this one, Corey Raji?
He's been special tonight, posting up inside, getting into the paint, shows the ability to spread the floor and knock down the 3, and also the hustle play on the break, not giving up on this layup attempt by Tyrese Rice, climbing on the glass. 15 points, 3 rebounds. How about this, Tim? 6 of 7 from the field, perfect 3 of 3 from behind the arc.
Yeah, he really lit it up after Vasquez was eliminated from the game. It was at that point, with 10:30 remaining, that Boston College took control of the game.
And in Terrell Blair's absence, John Oates has come in and been real solid.
You're right.
Blocks, some rebounds, some free throws, breaking out maybe a little bit of his malaise.
Yeah. By the way, the score at that time with 10.5 remaining was 43-43. And now you see Boston College has extended its lead as much as 9. Now it's down to 6 as Gist uses the glass.
He's a guy you can't allow multiple dribbles inside. It just puts too much pressure on his defender. He's going to score easily that way. I got to think with Paris and Rice, this is going to be a tough team to press.
I would agree.
They're going to be able to get the ball off the floor.
Boston College, always a very difficult team to play against when you're behind, but they also struggle at times once they're behind with their style of play, and Raji is fouled.
But that's the thing now, what they can do with a lead, they're so methodical, they can come in and really just grind you down, and they run that offense so well, it's tough to defend.
And that's the case with Al Skinner teams always, isn't it? To make the other team defend as much of that shot clock as they have to.
Yeah, and you can't go zone against it right now, so you've got to put pressure on them, and that just plays into their hands.
Let's go over to Jen Hildreth, who has more on the injury to Rakim Sanders.
Yeah, Tim, it was just 21 seconds into this half that he went out. He does have a strained muscle in his back, and I've been watching him. He can barely get up off the bench when they've got timeouts. So obviously a guy like Raji picking up the slack for his freshman teammate.
No doubt. I mean, Sanders was averaging just under 13 a game. Milborn taking it right at Blair. Another rejection. Tucker rejected again. Make it 3 in a row by Blair. He's well on his way to 10 block shots. Out of bounds to Boston College.
There's just nowhere to go in here, and he's established himself. Just staying right after it, keeping his hands up.
All clean.
All clean. That was some defensive stand right there.
As the coaches say, a lot of leather. Rice, what a feed to Spears. Boy, a beautiful bounce pass off the deck. 2 minutes left and a 9-point BC lead. Milburn again, challenging inside, and Blair this time will pick it up. And a rather sarcastic standing ovation by many of the student body here at the Comcast Center. They love their hoops here. Build a capacity yet again. Milborn at the free throw line. This is a young man that Gary Williams, as a sophomore, really looked back on his freshman season and said, you know, I wish I had gotten him a little more playing time, but Strawberry was playing so well down the stretch when Maryland made that great run into the NCAAs. He simply could not get him on the floor as much as he'd like. And after watching him tonight, Mike, I can understand why Gary feels that way.
Yeah, no, but there was just no room for him. There were so many seniors on that team and so many wing players that the minutes just weren't there.
I mean, this is one of the great coaches in all of college basketball, Gary Williams. And his program has been solid for so many years, including the national title in 01. And is quick to point out that what happens in a season is one thing, but it's about the program. It's the program that matters most. And when you've been at one place for 19 years, as he has, and you're coaching at your alma mater, a lot of people have forgotten, Mike, that he coached at Boston College, and he took over for Dr. Tom Davis. That got his career going, and he was at a career crossroads.
That was a big break, too, because he had gone a different route. He had left Maryland, gone the high school route, kind of worked his way up. Got a job, was an assistant to him up at BC, then took the American job, and he was looking, he'd interviewed at several other places, and then Tom Davis decided to go to Stanford. That opened up the job there, and then back then, quite a lineup of coaches in the Big East in the early 80s at the time.
Absolutely. I want to say the Seton Hall opportunity was there. I think Duquesne was another opportunity for him, and then when Dr. Tom Davis moved on, and it eventually led to him getting to Boston College. During the heyday, really, of the Big East in the 80s, Pitino was just coming in at Providence, and then you had Big John, of course, at Georgetown, Little Louie at St. John's, and Rolly Massimino at Villanova.
Yeah, he did say he took a vow of poverty by going to the Pig in the BC job. It wasn't the most lucrative one out there, but it was the best job.
Look at that BC road success. You see the foul given up quickly as they'll have to live at the line once they trigger in the inbounds because Maryland's trying to extend this game. Al Skinner's teams are as consistent on the road as any in Division I-A basketball.
And again, it goes back to one, they play an unconventional style that they're comfortable with. They're very solid defensively. They don't pressure you. They just do their thing in the half court. And they have Al Skinner's demeanor. Just nothing bothers this team. And nothing has bothered his teams over the years that they've been in the league.
Yeah, you know, even looking today at the shoot-around, John Oates is a senior player, and you're wondering, you look at his stats and you say, my goodness, he's got to be struggling. What's up? And And Al Skinner, understanding he's a senior, said, you know what, we'll play through it. He's a senior. Time will come when he makes a contribution, and tonight may be that night. 70-60, Boston College by 10.
Hayes, rejected by Blair. Milburn with a follow slam. Blair with a career high 9 blocks tonight. 9.6 boards. He's dangerously close to
the hard way.
The hard way triple double.
Well, Milburn has shown you his explosiveness because in spite of the blocks, he's had a couple of dunks that have been highlight film material. So not afraid to go back in and continue to challenge the big fella.
Don't forget the final score will be coming up immediately after our game. I'll catch you up on everything that's happened, and not only the NFL, but college basketball as well. There you see the line on Blair. That'll be in most regions of the country. Additionally, we'll have some time to recap tonight's matchup.
Now, 9 blocks is not going to happen every night out, but as I said earlier in the broadcast, I think the BC coaching staff would be thrilled with that line from Tulare Blair. And there's a you know, again, we talk about growing pains, and Gravis Vasquez, he hopefully learned a lot from what transpired this evening. And yet, you know, nobody's laying the loss, if this is in fact a loss, on his shoulders. But, you know, you just have to learn from that and try to keep your emotions in check.
It definitely had a dramatic impact on the way the rest of this game would be played out. With 10.5 remaining, 27-19 run since he fouled out. And he's a solid young man with a tremendous future. Plays with a lot of passion.
And it's hard to shut that off. I mean, so much, he depends on that emotion to play, but you just got to channel it in the right way.
The Terrapins' upcoming schedule, which, as you mentioned, it's a month or more until they play a conference game.
I think it's at Virginia Tech on the 12th. That's the next one they have.
We take you all the way up to the 8th with Holy Cross, so you don't see a conference game until the 12th. That's a long time to grind on a loss like this at home against Boston College.
And UNC Charlotte playing very, very well, and that's going to be a tough road game. So things not easy for this ball club.
Three-possession game. Hayes feeds Osby. Goes to Tucker for the tray. Well, that shortens the game a bit. Now down to 2 possessions. 71-65. Just the second three-pointer hit tonight by Maryland. Vasquez had the other.
But I'm telling you, Timmy, I watched him in practice. He is a very capable three-point shooter. He's got a great stroke. As I said, he was 5 of 5 coming into this game. And I think maybe after this performance here tonight that there may be some more minutes for Cliff Tucker out on the floor.
Foul went against Gist. 1:08 remaining. And Shamari Spears at the free throw line. And the upcoming schedule for Boston College. Massachusetts, of course, the alma mater of head coach Al Skinner. A big date with Kansas coming up on January the 5th.
And his former assistant Bill Cohn now the head coach up in Northeastern.
That's
so
right.
An interesting game there.
73-65 as Spears makes good. Boston College 23 of 29 at the line tonight. Osby. Blair affected that one. Amazing.
Milburn got away with a walk.
Hayes for 3. 73-68. 52 ticks remaining.
Well, that's what happens. You get a scattered play, and how many times do we see that doesn't open up three-point shooting lanes?
And Shamari Spears, who's a 69% free throw shooter, will go back to the stripe. Well, Blair does get his 10th block. He would only need one more rebound, and that's 10 and 10 in that category. Boy, what a performance by Terrell Blair.
And that helps for the most part. You've got very good free throw shooters out there. Rice is really solid. Spears just around 70%.
Well, think about how his predecessor, you think about Craig Smith, how many games he won just that way for Boston College in the time he was there. is important to make it a 3-possession game. Still a chance for the Terps. Hayes feeds inside Osby, and Spears with an outstanding defensive play.
Gary Williams wants to call, but you know what? I mean, BC, when you establish shot blocking inside, it carries over. It's like a goalie that gets hot.
Tucker, too strong. Milburn trying to keep it alive, out of bounds to Boston College. Well, that was a real opportunity for Maryland that got away. They needed a 3-ball to fall. 14 block shots for Boston College as a team tonight. 10 of them belonging to Terrell Blair. And we'll trot back to the free throw line. Again, for most regions, final score will be coming up immediately after our game for most regions. Mike, I'm curious, as young teams go, and there are a number of them in college basketball, where would you most like to be experienced, and then where would you be happiest with youth?
I want my finishers to be young and my playmakers to be old.
Okay.
You know, so you got a junior in Rice who's making plays, and then just having him out there is like I think like a safety net for Biko Paris, and they played very, very well together in tandem. But I want your finishers can be young, because all you have to really do is react.
Tucker with another 3. Raji fouled by Osby with 23.4 remaining. By the way, Tyrese Rice, 17 points tonight, Mike. He is 9 out of 10 at the free throw line. He has gotten to the line a great deal, and Blair now, as I mentioned, now has number 11 in block shots. He has been menacing all night, Blair.
Well, this is, I mean, you know, and you talk about BC, and they're a 1 shot, actually 2 shots away from being undefeated. I mean, in that Providence game, Jim, they were down 24 with 8 minutes to go, and we're up 6 with 30 seconds to go. and then Providence comes out and hits a couple of bombs and ties it up and sends it into overtime.
Hey, I tell you, Timmy Welsh has got a nice club this year. Providence is going to be a team to keep an eye on in Eastern basketball this season.
How would you like to fight up in that league, though? I mean, where do you go? Where's the room?
Where when you ask, what do you think about the tournament and making it, you're talking about your conference tournament.
About New York. Well, that changes next year.
It changes next year.
All 16 go from the Big East.
Which, of course, will make a lot of announcers happy. More units at the end of the season. More games to call. Well, Raji now needs to make this one to keep the number at 6. We'll take 2 possessions for Maryland either way.
And you got to really find where Hayes and Tucker are. Those are your 3-point shooters on the floor right now.
Hayes gets the high pick.
See, look, Blair is up covering Hayes. He doesn't care about anything else.
Hayes for 3. He rattles it home. 12.8 remaining.
Big lapse defensively. You cannot leave him open.
Timeout, Boston College. Boy, give Maryland credit. And they waited to get the proper spacing. It appeared as though Hayes turned down one good look at a 3, waited to have the ball swung back towards him on the wing.
Yeah, you see the double team. Blair right there. Now he's going to go. He's going to fall back in. Everybody leaves Hayes. Somebody needs to stay with him. Now, it wasn't going to be Blair. It had to be Paris in that situation to stay at home.
I tell you, I'm impressed with how Maryland handled that sequence. They didn't rush it at all. They made sure they got a good look.
But, you know, and Hayes, he's been terrific down this last 10 minutes. He's the son of a coach, very poised. I mean, to me, he's a Stephen Blake put through a Xerox machine.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I think Gary's eye is still on the prize, and with this group of players together, you think of Vasquez and Hayes together for 3 or 4 years, they're going to be dynamite. Roach the inbounds. Blair quickly fouled by Osby.
Wow, a nice job. And Tyrese Rice can't believe that Roche threw it to Blair, and they did a nice job of funneling the ball to him. And Blair not bad at 68%, but he's certainly the guys on the floor, the one you want to put at the line right now.
Yeah, 1 of 2 tonight. And Bombali Osby fouls out with 12. 12 points and 8 rebounds for the senior from Richmond, Virginia. Played in Paris, Texas, junior college. It's going to be a wild ACC season. When you think of it conference-wise, it really begins with North Carolina and Duke, obviously. And then I think the fight, Mike, for those teams in the middle of this conference to get to the upper division is going to be fun to watch.
Well, and I put Clemson a little bit closer to them than the rest. But, yeah, you throw a blanket around everybody else, and a big miss for Blair right there. This is the important one.
Two-possession game.
Big shot. Nice poise.
Hayes leaves it for Gist. He nails the tray. 5 ticks remaining. A 1-point game. Timeout again. There's hope in College Park.
Boy, everybody got jammed along the baseline for BC, and there were no outlets right there. He was thinking about lobbing it up to Terrell Blair, but then decided to pull it in and call a timeout. This is a well-run game, 2-man game right here, and Gist has not shot the 3 well in this series, but knocks down a huge shot there. Coming in to be Gist 3 of 17 from downtown.
Well, he had a lot of confidence there, and again, Gary Williams' team down the stretch, absolutely playing with poise in possessions that are must. 1 timeout remaining for Boston College.
Okay, so, you know, right now the guy who's got to have the most poise is the inbounder. He's got to have that 5-second clock going in his head. And Tyler Roche is going to be that guy. And then you've got to have everybody coming to the basketball.
Maryland trailed by 9 with 1:25 remaining.
Interesting, they're playing center field. They're not pressuring the inbound passer.
Reese got it, and the foul given up very quickly. But again, 4.3 remaining. Regardless, Mike, that's more than ample time for Maryland to go down and get off a shot. In fact, it was the same amount of time yesterday in Washington that the Huskies had 4.3 to get down the floor against Pittsburgh. You may recall that shot did not count, but only by a millisecond did it not count. Rice is 9 out of 10 at the line. Who takes the shot for Maryland on the other end?
I like that little 2-man. I don't know if it's enough time for some 2-man action. Maybe get Gist and Hayes. You got to get Hayes with a rush up the floor and then have somebody set a screen for him.
Here we go. Gregory will trigger it in. Hayes checked by Paris, and he's being ragged. A quick foul given up, which they have opportunity to do.
I like that call. I've been a big fan of fouling him before to get a situation. Now what you have to do, Maryland's got to make one, intentionally miss the second one. I've seen more players hit long bombs in that situation than pull off this 1-2 situation that they have to do right now with the offensive rebound.
You're right. Yet a lot of coaches for years, though, would never do it for fear of the offensive rebound.
And see, right now, and I think the way it's set up inside, I'd stunt my 2 inside guys in Gist and Gregory to try to get into the miss.
High arching, there it is. A push will be called against Maryland. It'll go against Adrian Bowie.
And John Oates has played big in these last 10 minutes, and it's tough to miss like this. That is a very hard thing to do for a good shooter. Oates right there.
Boy, did you see Shamari Spears root out the defender with his lower body? That was a marvelous move by Shamari Spears in that offensive
rebound opportunity for Maryland. He made absolutely certain that the opening would be there for Oaks. He's 4 of 4 on the night at the line. Clutch. He still needs another. Watch Spears, 34. Take a look at this.
Yeah, just getting in.
Right. And Oates made sure that he got the ball.
But just, you know, the way they're moved one slide up the lane this year, there's just more room to operate and get an offensive rebound.
That's right. Look out. Into the game, Tucker. And that'll do it. Boston College hangs on and win it 81-78. And they move to 7-1 on the season. More importantly, 1-0 in conference play. Gary Williams' team down to 6-4 and 0-1 in the ACC. Back with more from the Comcast Center. Stay right where you are.
Your double deep pizza with double the toppings.
Double.
Your double deep pizza?
Double.
Pizza Hut's new Double Deep Pizza. Double it up with double the toppings and 50% more cheese. A pizza so deep, we had to build a special crust to hold it all. For a limited time, just $12.99.
I love you.
Double means more with America's favorite pizza. Pizza Hut. Order online.
Daniel Carpenter. I am an information systems analyst. Well, I got my education from ITT Technical Institute. My wife thinks that my choice to go to ITT Tech has definitely helped me to reach the goals that I have to be able to pick and choose where we want to go and also the lifestyle that we want to live.
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute, education for the future. To find out more, call 1-800-ITT-TECH or visit us on the web.
I'm Paul Manette, host of Cruisin' New England, a new television show premiering this fall on Nessun. You're going to see some wonderful car collections, some outstanding memorabilia, and beautiful collectibles, all here on Cruisin' New England on Nessun. So come join us as we go Cruisin' New England.
Look for us Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. before the Bruins games. For a full season schedule, visit cruisingnewengland.com.
The 2007 Red Sox championship is not a reward for history and hope. It's for the here and now. This one is for us. Nessun presents Champions Again, the story of the 2007 Boston Red Sox, the definitive DVD of the entire 2007 championship season. Relive it all with Champions Again. Available Friday at retailers throughout New England.
For BC, and Jen Hildreth is standing by with the winners. Jen?
Thank you, Tim. I'll start with Terrell Blair. What a night for you tonight, Terrell. What have you done to expand your offensive game? Let's start there.
Well, my teammates did a great job of giving me the ball and placing where I can score. And tonight, I put a fortune, the ball was going in.
Ball was going in, and I'm going to go to your coach for this one. He was going in on the offensive end. He was blocking on the defensive end. What did you like about your team's performance tonight?
Well, the thing is that I think we made some mistakes defensively, but I think they hung in there. They never hung their heads. They kept trying to correct their mistakes, and luckily for us, Terrell cleaned up a couple of mistakes for us.
All right, thanks very much, and congratulations to you, Coach. Tim?
All right, thank you, Jen. Tyrese Rice, an outstanding performance. 19 for him, 11 of 12 at the line. Corey Raji was outstanding. He had 17 on 6 of 7 shooting coming off the bench. And Blair, heroic underneath with 10 points and those 11 block shots. After a slow start for both teams, the technical foul on Gravis Vasquez was a huge factor. Coming up next, most of you will see FSN Final Score. Remember to join us in a couple of weeks for more ACC Sunday Night Hoops, presented by Pizza Hut, Virginia Tech Wake, followed by Cincinnati, NC State. Now, for Mike Janinski and Jen Hildreth, Tim Brando, so long from College Park, BC 81, Maryland 78. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
You actually got a pony.